Hey everyone, this is Reddit Family Secrets. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd love to know your thoughts about this story and what you think about the characters and their decisions. Share your thoughts in the comments. Enjoy the story. It was just another Saturday afternoon. The sun was shining bright over Denver, and the usual hum of the city felt distant from me as I sat at my desk in our small apartment. Kelsey and I had been living together for almost 3 years. And though things had been, on the surface, perfectly fine, deep down, I had felt a growing sense of unease. It was the kind of feeling that you just couldn't shake off. Kelsey had been distant lately, always absorbed in her phone, or on the computer, or out with her friends. It felt like we were living parallel lives, sharing a space, but not a connection. And, like clockwork, she would occasionally drop these little bombshells, text messages, or passive-aggressive comments, and expect me to fight for her. This had happened before, but today when the text came, something inside me shifted. "I think maybe we need to break up," her text read. At first, I stared at the message, my mind racing. I wasn't shocked, not hurt, just tired. We'd had this conversation before, though it was usually over something petty, like me not being able to take a day off to attend some friend's event. This time felt different. I felt the exhaustion hit me harder than it ever had before. I didn't immediately reply. Instead, I leaned back in my chair, staring at the screen as the silence in the apartment seemed to grow louder. Kelsey had been pulling this game for months. When things didn't go her way, when she was upset about something trivial, she'd threatened to end the relationship. It had always been a manipulation tactic, but this time, I didn't feel like playing. I didn't want to beg her. I didn't want to plead. I had no more fight left. A minute passed. I typed a quick response. "I agree. Your stuff will be on the porch in an hour." I was almost shocked by my own words. Normally, I would have backpedaled, maybe texted something like, "Are you serious?" or "Let's talk this through." But not this time. I was done. The bubbles appeared immediately on her end, then disappeared, then appeared again. I could almost picture her frantically typing and deleting her messages. The follow-up text came pouring in. "Wait, what?" she typed. "I was joking, babe. Please call me. This isn't funny." I didn't respond immediately. I wasn't interested in her excuses anymore. The games were over. I had had enough of this emotional roller coaster. I muted my phone, turned off the ringer, and set it face down on my desk. The noise of my phone wasn't going to break my resolve. I had a mission to complete. It started with the bathroom. Kelsey had gradually moved in without us ever formally discussing it. Her stuff was everywhere. Shampoo bottles, face masks, hair straighteners, lotions. I had spent weeks ignoring it, letting her claim more and more of the space we had once shared. But now it was time to take it all back. I took the shampoo bottles off the shelves, wiped the counters clean, and emptied the medicine cabinet. Next was the bedroom. Her clothes, her jewelry box, the ridiculous decorative pillows she had insisted we buy. Pillows that, let's be honest, were just an inconvenience for me while I was trying to sleep. The fake plant she insisted added a touch of life to the room gone. The framed photo of us at her cousin's wedding, where she looked stunning and I looked trapped. I knew I had to take it all down. It wasn't just about removing her things. It was about reclaiming my space, about reminding myself that I could stand on my own again. Then, the living room came next. The yoga mat she'd left there, but never used. The coffee table books that were never read, but just sat there to impress people. The blanket that looked nice, but felt like sandpaper. I packed it all up. The kitchen was the hardest. Her coffee pods, the juicer that she'd begged for and used maybe twice, the fancy wine glasses she had insisted we keep even though she only used them for Instagram photos. It was all a part of her world, her illusion of a perfect life, and now I was putting it all away. In less than an hour, I had packed up everything into 6 large boxes and 3 trash bags. The house looked emptier, but felt lighter. I stood back and looked at my work. The silence in the room was almost deafening, but it was a welcome kind of quiet. I snapped a picture of the boxes on the porch and sent it to her. "Everything's outside. Please collect it within 2 hours, or it goes to the curb for donation pickup." Then I went about my day. My phone exploded. 47 missed calls, a dozen text messages, a few voicemails I didn't bother checking right away. I could hear her panicked voice through the texts. "You can't do this," she wrote. "I live here too. I didn't even bother answering. I had already made my decision. The sound of screeching tires interrupted the stillness. I stood by the window, watching as her car pulled up and stopped in the driveway. I felt a strange calmness wash over me. It was over. She was here, and this time I wasn't backing down. Kelsey stormed up to the porch, mascara running down her cheeks. I opened the door. "Your stuff's on the porch. Please take it and go," I said, my voice calm, steady. She stood there, eyes wide, her mouth opening and closing like she was trying to come up with a response. But there was nothing left to say. She grabbed the first box and threw it at the door, her face a mixture of frustration and disbelief. Then she sat down on the steps and pulled out her phone. A phone call. Her mom. "Sweetie, what's going on?" Her mom's voice crackled from the speakerphone. "Mom, he's throwing me out over a text," Kelsey sobbed. "What did the text say?" her mom asked, her voice suddenly serious. "I maybe suggested we break up, but I was joking," Kelsey said, her voice shaking. The silence on the other end was deafening. Then her mom spoke again. "Kelsey, what did you do?" The truth came out. This wasn't a joke. It wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a test, and I wasn't playing anymore. Her mom must have told her to come home, because a few moments later, Kelsey hung up, grabbed a box, and stormed off toward her car. But this wasn't the end of it. No, not by a long shot. The next 3 days were a whirlwind. Day 1, Kelsey tried to deny everything. She sent me a long message saying that it was just a bad joke. Day 2, she was angry, blaming me for everything, calling me cold-hearted. Day 3, she tried to manipulate me again. That's when the text came through at 2 a.m. "I might be pregnant," Kelsey's message read. I wasn't stupid. I knew she was on birth control. We hadn't been intimate in weeks, and I had no reason to believe this was anything but another play to reel me back in. I replied calmly, "Take a test. If it's positive, we'll handle it with lawyers. You broke up with me, remember? Your decision." The response came quickly. "You're really going to do this alone?" I didn't answer. The radio silence from her after that was enough. No pregnancy, no drama, just Kelsey retreating to her world of manipulation. But that wasn't the end of it. She took to social media, posting selfies and crying about how I had thrown her out. She painted me as the villain, as the guy who didn't care. The comments rolled in, her friends supporting her, calling me names, but one friend, Carlos, saw through it. "Didn't you break up with him?" Carlos commented. Kelsey deleted the post in an hour. Next came the missing items game. Her grandmother's ring, which didn't exist, and a charger she claimed was hers. I sent her a text back. "Everything you left is on the porch. Stop texting me." The last straw came when Kelsey showed up at my gym. I had just finished my workout when I saw her at the front desk talking to the staff. She was trying to get in with a fake excuse about losing her key card. Security had to escort her out, but she wasn't done. Oh no, Kelsey didn't stop there. Her tactics grew more desperate. She tried everything to get me back. She tried to guilt-trip me, calling me heartless, saying I was ruining her life. Then, she hired a life coach to help her manifest our relationship back. The life coach reached out to me on LinkedIn. "Seriously, I'm working with someone from your past to clear negative energy," she wrote. I blocked her immediately. Kelsey tried everything she could, from showing up at mutual friends' events to pretending she was destined to be with me. But every time she cornered someone to tell her version of the story, people started avoiding her. Finally, the restraining order came. She showed up at my work again, and that was the last straw. I filed for the order. 6 months later, life was peaceful. I had moved on. I focused on work, my gym routine, and even started dating casually. Kelsey's drama faded, but I didn't forget the lesson I learned. When someone manipulates you by threatening to leave, let them go. And Kelsey? Last I heard, she was in another toxic relationship, playing the same games. Me? I'm just focusing on my life, free, drama-free, and happier than I've been in years.